How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the preseason interview with the coach of the Iowa Incineroar, Infernomen. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be going over his team. We're just gonna be rocking through his feelings heading into the season and all that good stuff. First and foremost, my friend, how are you doing today?
Great. We totally didn't just record our series we're doing together.
Oh, we didn't. Now, to any, before we get into the real, meat of the argument, to any of the people who may have, found you through the EPL, through other people's channels, so on and so forth, why don't you give them a little intro as to who you are, what you're about, what your channel's about, and all that good stuff.
Hello, I'm Infernomen. I go by Inferno or Landon, whatever works best for you. I do Pokemon content on my channel. If you didn't have the slightest fathom, I mostly do shiny hunting. I actually just got a full odd shiny Roki as my starter in a Pokemon X shiny lock the other day in 511 resets. That is a 2,500 subscriber special. We're actually headed towards 2,800 subs now, so pretty exciting. I'm also hunting the fossils in Sword and Shield. I also do Nuzlocks, including one that I'm doing with only Hermit right now, the Black and White Versus, which I just mentioned we just recorded 2 new episodes for. I'm also doing the Platinum Randomizer Nuzlocke solo, and I also do content that isn't Pokemon, including Skyward Sword's playthrough that I'm doing live right now, and more in the future. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that, the subscribe button is free on YouTube, so is the like button.
Absolutely. And just like with any other coach in the league, check him out, subscribe, and all that good stuff. If you want to miss any content, especially any of the battles that are coming up this season, because we got a bit of a doozy. We got a bit of a doozy coming up this season. This is going to be pretty intense. All right. With all that out the way, let's get into the real meat and potatoes of the interview. First question up. What is going through your head as we continue to get closer and closer to the start of the season?
I need to build my team. Because I have all the shinies I need. I just need to level them up to 100 and pump some EVs and IVs into them.
Training. Yeah, I think that's what's on everyone's mind right now. Right now we're recording 3 weeks off from the start of the season, so
yeah,
that's probably relatively what's on everyone's mind right now. We're officially heading into crunch time here. So you joined in season 2. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You were obviously in the weekly roundup season 1, but then officially joined as a competitor season 2. You retained, you stayed in season 3. Now you're in season 4. Are you feeling more or less confident heading into this season compared to your last couple?
People joked about it and stuff, but there is some truth in the fact that Offline kind of carried me last season, and since he's no longer doing content and isn't part of the EBL, he can't help me this season. He helped me build my team, but he can't help me in the matches. But I'm still gonna try to seek help to practice and stuff. But I don't think it'll come as easy as it did last season. Offline did say that this team I drafted is the best one I've drafted yet, but the person who helped me build it can't tell me how to use it, so I gotta get the help I can so I can understand how I can use it.
You mentioned your team building is you're starting to get to that point where you got to start putting it together. How are your preparations going so far for all that stuff?
Well, I got my shinies last month. I had to re-shiny hunt shinies I already had, Swampert and Venusaur, because the ones I had I couldn't re-nickname, and I kind of have a theme going on this season where every week I'll name all my Pokemon after anime characters from a certain anime. So I went out of my way to shiny hunt Bulbasaur and Mudkip again, so I could re-nickname them. Oh yeah, and Growlithe as well. So there was 3. I had to get Growlithe as well for Arcanine. But I kind of had to do that for a while anyways, because my Arcanine was from Pokemon Go, and I don't like to keep shinies from Pokemon Go in my shiny living deck, so I kind of need to get it together anyways. But yeah, but that's as far as preparation goes. I've gotten some Pokemon to level 100, but I don't think I've worked on patches or capsules or anything like that. I got plenty of BP from like the points that I had stored up in Pokemon Home, so I don't really have to worry about getting like rare candies and stuff like that. But I definitely need to figure out move sets and what EVs I'm putting into my Pokemon.
So mainly your primary focus right now is just simply like the battle plan, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Has anything changed from the way you prepared in the last couple seasons compared to now? Like the way you're trying to get into it?
Not really. I think last season was when I really discovered how I was going to build my teams. Because season 2, at the beginning, I was like fighting Pokemon to get EVs and stuff like that. And eventually I was just keeping my EVs the same. I wasn't fighting Pokemon. I don't remember what I did at that point to get my EVs, but I just was keeping them the same the entire season. I didn't change them. And then season 3, I changed my EVs practically every week with the help of offline, and used time skipping so I could put braces and stuff on my Pokemon to do the Pokemon missions, whatever they're called,
Yeah.
which gets you EVs like fully maxed out in like 5 minutes. So I'm probably going to use that technique again, but I'll have to see, which EVs I put into it. And Luigi, I worked with him the last couple of weeks of last season. He actually uses a website that tells like what EVs need to like have Pokemon 100, like have a 100% chance to one-shot a Pokemon if the cards are played right. So that's how we did EVs. I think we only did it for my match against Pidge though, and I lost that one. But it still works because that's how Brian won all of his matches. So I trust the system.
Balance.
So
Yeah.
if I need to do that, I'll work with him. Or if I need to work with Humberto, I'll work with him. But I think overall my system of training on my Pokemon is practically the same. It should be.
So focusing a little more on the team you're able to put together. Like looking at the team you drafted, you put together Swampert, Weavile, Venusaur, Arcanine, Alolan Raichu, Skarmory, Minchao, Tapu Fini, and Giratina. You mentioned a couple of them earlier. Looking at that list of your team, how do you think your draft went?
I think it went really well. I ended up getting sniped by Derek for my Galvantula. Wasn't very happy about that at the time because it took me over 2,400 resets to get it shiny. This is why I should have waited till after the draft to shiny hunt, because then I wouldn't have been disappointed. But anyways, basically I shiny hunted 3 Pokemon by resets before the draft happened, and only one of them ended up on my team, Weavile, and it took the least amount of resets, and it was over 2,000 for that. So Mamoswine was a backup. Galvantula got sniped. I only ended up with Weavile, so I wasn't too thrilled about that. But offline I figured out a workaround once Galvantula got sniped to like redo my team, and we did it fast enough where I could like finish my draft. I got Alolan Raichu again, so that's pretty nice that I get to have one of my favorite Pokemon on the team again. But now I found out that Derek took Galvantula because his theme of his team this season is every type, and Galvantula is the only electric bug type, so... Well, besides Vikavolt, but he wanted to use Galvantula because Galvantula is better in DTC, so... That's why he took it. So I'm not too upset anymore, just upset at how long it took me to get it shiny. But overall, I think my draft went well. I mean, I'm not the best when it comes to battling and stuff like knowing battle knowledge and stuff like that, so I don't see how this is my best team I've drafted. But offline said it's my best team I drafted, and I trust offline, so I hope he's not just saying that because I didn't choose Incineroar and Vanilluxe for once, but he's the one who told me to draft them last season, so that's on him if that's the reason. But yeah, I think my draft went pretty well.
How are you feeling about the Pokemon that you drafted? Like, how do you feel about your team overall?
So I'm just happy that I got Tapu Fini, because my goal is to use all the 4 Tapus in the EBL, and this is my 3rd one. Besides that, everything else on my team was up in the air because I talked to offline about it, and he's just like, I want you to draft it. I'm gonna have you draft a completely fresh team with Tapu Fini on it that works around Tapu Fini. That has no Pokemon you've ever used before, and that was the initial plan. But now I'm using Raichu because Galvantula got sniped. But overall, the rest of the Pokemon I've never used before. Venusaur I wanted to use before. He said that wasn't best for my season 2 team. Weavile I didn't really consider before, so that's new. Really excited to use Weavile. Mienshao I would have never like chosen myself in a million years, but Offline says it's gonna do well on my team. And he really hoped that I could draft it. So yeah, basically like everything but Raichu I've never used before. So I really like my Pokemon. I prefer Corvisquire over Skarmory, which was what my new team had over Skarmory. But Offline was glad because I was the one that said I wanted Corviknight, but Nate sniped it from me, so Offline's like, ha, now you have to have Skarmory. So, so I'm using Skarmory.
Are there any Pokemon on your team that you feel have a good chance at an MVP? Like, do you have any Pokemon on your team that you feel are a good MVP candidate by the end of the season?
I've always felt that Alolan Raichu deserved to be on the logo. Like, I really thought that Pidge was going to end up having Alolan Raichu put on the logo for this season. But he had to have frickin' Mew on it instead because he's a jerk. But I've always felt that Alolan Raichu is logo material. But, I mean, out of my other Pokemon, I'd like to see Swampert on it too, because Swampert's one of my top 10 favorite Pokemon too. Plus it's got a lot of potential as what it is, but since my team is mostly bulk, nothing screams MVP to me other than those 2 Pokemon. If I could find where my team is so I know what Pokemon I drafted. I never remember. Like, they put emojis next to the channels, so I literally have no idea where my team... Okay, I think I found it. No, that's the other division. I'm almost there, guys.
He's got it.
Okay, here I am. Yeah, I don't see Giratina. Like, maybe that's a possibility, but like, I don't know. It's hard to have like a really good legendary that ends up on the logo. Like, they have to be known as VGC good legendaries for them to end up on the logo. Like, Kartana was a little bit of a surprise, but that's because Matt swept 2 people with it, so that was just luck on his side. It'd be cool to see Arcanine on the logo, but I mean, other than Alolan Raichu and Swampert, I don't really see anybody that would end up on the logo.
Do you feel, would you simultaneously consider Alolan Raichu an underrated Pokemon at the same time, or do you feel you have any other Pokemon on your team that might be underrated?
For sure. I don't understand why it's never drafted immediately. Like, Alolan Raichu has been used by me and Pitch in the EBL excellently, and everybody underestimates it and never drafts it. They're like, I don't need this Pokemon. It's fast on its own, and with its ability, if it gets into an electric terrain, it's faster. Like, that thing can be a powerhouse if used correctly, but people don't take it. They just don't. And not only is Alolan Raichu underrated in that sort of sense, but it's underrated as a Pokemon, man. I mean, a lot of people love Alolan Raichu. I love it 30,000 times more than Cantonian Raichu, but I mean, not enough people are talking about Alolan Raichu, man. It's adorable. It's fantastic, and it's Psychic type. Psychic is a great type too. So
these are all facts.
Yeah, Alolan Raichu is a fantastic Pokemon. I actually have a plushie of it. I don't know where it is. Oh, it's on my nightstand. But yeah, I love Alolan Raichu.
Take his word for it. It's over. Do you think your team will be able to stack up well against the rest of the league?
Yeah, absolutely. I always think my Pokemon can stack up. I mean, I'm the one that proved to everybody that Vanillux is great, and the one season I don't take it, nobody else did. So that's on all of you guys, but I think all my Pokemon can do anything. Like, some of them are Pokemon that have done something. Arcanine, Venusaur, against my Quagsire, Swampert, Weavile was on the logo for season 2, bro. Right next to Cinderace, who is a menace in our league. Heck, I'll even throw up my hands and say that Skarmory has potential. So Yeah.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
You're gonna continue. Alright, now speaking on the league, you are in the Sinnoh division alongside Guanaco Gaming in the Florida for Alligators and Game Reviews and the Detroit Luxuries. What were your thoughts when you saw who you were paired with in your division?
I finally have an excuse to fight Max, and oh gosh, Humberto's in my division. but then I realized that this is his like back season, and he keeps on saying that he's gonna like go all out, but he also keeps on saying it's his laid back season, so I don't know what to trust.
You're just gonna go 5-0 casually. We all know it.
I want to win. I want to win against him. I almost beat him with my season 2 team when he was doing practice matches. So hopefully I can win.
Looking at your schedule, you have Max right away, which is your division rival, one of your division rivals. Then you go on to face Pidge in a rematch there. The third time y'all get to face off. Then you get to face against Timmy, the DC Starmies. It's gonna be an interesting matchup. Then you have your other division rival in the Florida for Alligators, and then the Walton Wingles is how you'll be rounding out the season. Did seeing your schedule make you more excited for the season to start?
Yeah, I'd say so, because the only person that I've battled before that I'm battling this season is Pitch. So everybody else is new, right? Because I fight Max, I fight Nate, I fight Humberto, and I fight forgetting someone. I always forget someone.
Timmy, Nate,
Humberto, Max, and then Pidge. So 4 of those people I have never fought before. I technically fought Nate's team in season 2, but yeah. I was Ace's last opponent before Nate picked up his team, so I've never fought Nate before. And he took my Tapu Koko this season, the one that I had last season that could have done way better than it did. So I'm hoping he brings it so I can shut it down, because I need to keep my title as the best Tapu Koko user in the EDO.
The only one.
Yeah. Well, if there's
so
only,
by default,
if there's only one other person, then I have to shut him down. Show him who's boss.
In terms of difficulty, looking at your schedule, how would you rate it out of 10?
So I've got one completely newbie, and that's Timmy, and his team's pretty sick, but he's gonna have first season luck. A lot of people in their first season actually do pretty solidly, but then there's people like me and you who didn't do their greatest in their first season and thought they would do fantastically, or like at least good enough to like have a solid record. And Timmy's kind of up there. Like my season 2 team, I was just like, this is the best thing I can draft. It's gonna destroy everybody. And then I won 2 out of 5 of my matches. So obviously that wasn't the greatest thing that I could have drafted. And Timmy's got a lot of Pokemon that like have been good before, and offline helped him build his team. But I don't know. I think Timmy's kind of like, maybe I feel like I have a strong chance to win, but we'll have to see how it happens when we actually fight. And then you know, I already talked about me fighting Nate. I have confidence. First week, right off the bat, I fight Max. He's got a rain team this season that includes Kyogre. I don't have a Tapu Koko to one-shot Kyogre this season, but I think I can pull it off against his team. I feel the same amount of confidence with him as I do Timmy. Humberto is just like, if he's laid back, I have a solid chance. If he's lying to us, then I'm gonna lose. He's lying to us. And then Pidge is just like, I won once, he's won once, but when I won, it was by a hair. I have a different team this season though, and while he still has Mew, I have a Ghost type and a Dark type. Off the top of my head, I have Giratina and Weavile. Arcanine can learn Dark type moves. Yeah, that. So that's what I've got to deal with. Humberto and Pidge are the maybes. Timmy and the Maxes are the likelies, and the Nates are I need to win this to prove I'm the best Tapu Koko user. So if I had to rate it out of 10, I'd say my confidence level is probably a 7. 7.
Pretty average right there.
I'll say I win 3 out of 5 of my matches.
Is there anyone not on your schedule that you would like to face?
I want to fight Brian again because he swept me with the Xerneas. I want to actually fight him. Screw that Xerneas.
I think you could face him in the playoffs, so you two would face off, you know, before you can even get to the finals. Is there anyone from the other side, from the Dynamax division, that you'd want to face?
Well,
this would be in the finals, keep in mind.
I'd have to see who's in the Dynamax conference.
Or the conference.
So I'm fighting Walton, and I'm fighting Essex. I would say I want to fight Bob, but he has Cinderace, so I don't know. I'd say I'd want to fight Derek, just because I've only fought him in season 2 and I lost both times. I want to fight him full on, no Cinderace, mono, just the 2 of us.
He has to make it to the final, so
yeah.
Looking at the league here with all these teams, you know, in the Mega and Dynamax, feel free to pick one from each or just one. It's entirely up to you. Which teams are looking the most dangerous in your opinion, not including your
own? I think I talked about this before, but I wasn't entirely. I don't remember entirely who we discussed what had the toughest team. Pidge again has some past MVPs in strong Pokemon from the EDL, but I don't think it was him that we discussed had the strongest team. Bob's got a really good team as well. I can't say Luigi because his is themed to be Beauty and the Beast, so he's not even using Pokemon that work well together necessarily. I think when we talked about it, we discussed maybe your team being the strongest from what you put together. I don't remember. We had this conversation after the podcast or during the podcast a couple weeks ago. I can't remember exactly, but you've got some good Pokemon, including Leafeon, that I want to absolutely punt. Your order throws me off because I saw YouTube Primarina and Thunder, so I'm like, why has he got 3 legendaries? I'm like, wait, Primarina's a starter. But yeah, I mean, you've got some power. Excadrill. Duraludon is great. I love Duraludon. You got Drapion, who I constantly make fun of in the verses. You've got my favorite legendary. You've got another Genie. You had Landorus in season 2. Your team is really good, but I don't think that's who we discussed had the strongest team. I feel like Derek said something about Humberto's team, but his is like mostly fairy type. I don't think it had anything to do with like mono teams or anything like that. Maybe we did discuss Bob and Pidge, because their teams are pretty scary. I mean, especially since Bob has Cinderace. But yeah, if I had to say, it'd probably be between Bob and Pidge. And yours is a good one, honorable mention.
Appreciate it. Makes sense. I will tell you the most common answers found so far have been, you guessed it, surprise, surprise, Bob and Pidge.
Yeah.
The 2 of them have been main answers for that question. Nonstop.
Offline's out here saying my team is the best I've drafted, but I don't want to say too much good things about my team, because if I end up getting destroyed, I'm not going to look good. So we'll just say my team is good because Offline said so, but if I lose, blame him.
It's his fault. Yep. On the flip side, are there any teams you feel might be underestimated but perform beyond expectations? You already kind of touched on it a little bit, but if you want to expand a little bit more, it's you.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of teams that could do more than people might think. Like, you know, Timmy's team could perform a lot better than we think just because of what he drafted. It just depends on what he can put into it. Because we've known Timmy to be attack, attack, attack. Oh. Yeah, we've known Timmy to be the attack, attack, attack kind of person. And to be honest, I was the attack, attack, attack kind of person before I got into the EBL, but then I started practicing it and started using more moves. I've gotten better with it, but again, I wasn't the greatest with it in Season 2 and I ended up falling because of it. But Timmy's team is still pretty good. I can't say anything about Derek's team. I do want to fight him, but his is just a team that has all 18 types. Like, he's not even confident in his team. I think Alan's team is not one to scoff at because it's a Hoenn team and we love Hoenn in this house. That's all I want to say. Look at his Sceptile being on his team, all beautiful and everything. It's the first Sceptile user in the EBL. Could have been me, but it's Alan. Shout freaking out. Matt's gonna get 0-5 this season. I don't care. That's what he gets for doing his fake rankings in front of every season, making me either 1-4 or 0-5. Bro gets to go 0-5 for real this season with his monobug team. He's got Heracross and Vikavolt, but he can suck a toe. But yeah, if I had to say anybody, it'd probably be Alan's team, just because I love Hoenn.
I think that's a unique answer.
Yeah, let's go, Alan. Show them.
I just want to point out
that
I forgot to mute my Discord mic right there. I did mute my OBS mic. Yeah. Just wanted to point that out.
That's like, thanks for the belch,
just got a loud
Josh.
burp in Landon's ear. Y'all didn't hear anything. I muted my OBS mic, but I want to apologize. I forgot to mute my Discord mic too. Anywho, series. Yeah, that's a pretty uncommon answer. I haven't really heard Alan all too much. It's mostly been I'll tell you, it's mostly been like Matt, Nate.
I mean,
Derek was brought up a couple times.
In all seriousness, like, yeah, I think Alan should, have it. I kept on him because Hoenn's the best region, but also because, he did really well last season. He got put in a lot of tough positions where he almost won, but lost. Like me in Season 2. And then I came back Season 3, went 4-0. We don't talk about Match 5, but I almost lost 2 out of 4 of the matches I won last season, and it was because of the preparation I put into it. We had 4 extra EVs on Vanillux, and Offline's like, where should we put this? And I'm like, HP. You know what Vanillux did? It survived on 2 HP and turned around my match against Alan and destroyed him. But turning it back on Alan, he almost beat me. He has the skills to pay the bills, dude. Do not underestimate this man. He could go to the playoffs this season.
Focusing back on your team here, how do you think, with the way you talked about your team and the way you compare it to the rest of the league and all that, how do you think you will perform this season?
Overall, I think I'll perform better than I did Season 2, but with the opponents I have this season, unless I get as lucky as I did Season 3, I'll probably be in the middle ground between Seasons 2 and 3. But
do you have any?
I hope that this is the first season I make it past the first round of playoffs.
With that being said, would that be one of your specific goals you have for this season? Do you have any other ones? Short term, long term, whatever they may be.
That was my goal last season. I was like, make it past the first round of playoffs, and I did better last season, but I still got stopped at the first match of playoffs. Screw you. And the fact that it's on the logo. Bob deserved to win last season. I love you, Pidge, but man, I wanted Bob to win. We could have had Naganadel on the logo.
If I speak, I am in trouble. Are there, beyond the playoffs, do you have anything else? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to do with your record or anything. It could be something simple. Do you have any other goals you might want to set for yourself?
Like in the EBL in general?
Yeah.
Have fun with it, and don't be too devastated if you lose, because I only lost once in the regular season last season, and even though it was like Luigi, I was like, I know this is Luigi and I are tight, like this isn't that big of a deal. It's not as bad as if I lost to, like, I don't know, literally anybody else. So but I was still devastated because I was just like, I could have been the second coach to have a 5-0 record, and I blew it because I didn't prep at all for Xerneas. So I just want to focus less on the fact that I could possibly lose and work more on the fact that I could possibly win. Because if I put more thought into that, then maybe I'll do a little bit better. Because I'm going back into school here. So school's going to be going on long during the EBL. And there's not always a promise that I'll be able to build my team by the time my match rolls around, so...
I know that.
Yeah.
And now, for the final question of the main part of this interview. It's a question that's been asked for the last 3 seasons, so anyone who's done these interviews. Why are you going to be the champion of the Elite Battle League by the end of the season?
I'm going to be the champion of the Elite Battle League by the end of the season because I believe in myself. I have passion. This league has been a great part of my life since last summer, and it makes me happy every time the EBL is brought up because I believe I represent the league very well, and this is like a second family to me. So that drives me to do the best that I can, and I think that's really going to put me on top this season. So look out for your Iowa Incineroar.
That answer. Now with this interview out of the way, the main part of the interview out of the way, is there anything you would like to plug? I'm gonna throw it over to you, socials, projects, merch, etc., all that good stuff. This is your time to take over and let the people know what you got going on.
First and foremost, you guys got to subscribe to Josh, because like we're not only working together both in the verses, in this video, and the weekly roundups, but he's also a fantastic person. He deserves a lot more subscribers. He's a fantastic content creator and severely underrated. And you guys should throw him a free subscription. It's crazy. Subscribing to people is free on YouTube, so you can totally do that. But with that out of the way, you know, keep up with the verses, Platinum, Randomizer Nuzlocke here on the channel, Skyward Sword, and Shiny Hunting Live. And yeah, get ready for Scarlet and Violet. If the starters aren't shiny locked, I'm gonna be shiny hunting Waxley. So, yes sir.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This has been our preseason interview with the coach of the Iowa Incineroar, Infernomen. Be sure to show some love his way. We mentioned it earlier in this video. Subscribe so you do not miss a single anything he just mentioned, and also all the matches that are upcoming with the Elite Battle League, alongside all the other coaches as well. Now for you, good sir, are there any final words you have for the fans of the Iowa Incineroar out there?
Thanks for watching. The new merch design with the new logo made by this man be available when the season starts on September 3rd. So if you want to be one of the last people to get the current design of the Iowa Incineroar merch and have as much money as you can to spend on that and the new design, go ahead and check out the merch store with the link in the description. Buy yourself some Iowa Incineroar merch. You know what to do. We're gonna win this season.
It gives you superpowers and makes you better at Pokemon.
And increases my chances of being the champ. So go buy it. I'm gonna win.
I wish you good luck, good sir, on the season, and we'll be seeing all of you real soon for the start of season 4 on September 3rd, first Saturday of September. Do not miss it. We will be, like I mentioned in the earlier video, this season is going to be insane. The teams are pretty evenly matched across the board. It's going to be an amazing season. So September 3rd, the first Saturday of September, is when the first week starts. So please, please, please keep an eye out for all that good stuff. And, you know, subscribe here so you do not miss any of the Iowa Incineroar matches either. So yeah, that's everything. Appreciate all of you for watching, and take care.
Bye.